Butterworth and former MEP campaigner and political commentator Belinda Lucy. Now, two moments that went viral at Pride celebrations over the weekend have once again proved that it's the left who are becoming increasingly intolerant in society. First in Manchester, Labour frontbencher Lucy Powell was accused of stirring up division after posing in a T-shirt that claimed she, quote, never kissed a Tory. The party's shadow culture secretary was told to grow up by critics after boasting online about pulling the stunt. Tory MP Diana Davison, who came out as bisexual last year, said it was juvenile. Far more shocking, though, was a group of lesbians in Cardiff who were removed from a Pride march because they were gender-critical feminists who dared to question basic biology. Watch as a police officer tells the group to leave the area or be forcibly removed by cops as trans extremists confront them with foul-mouthed abuse.
At the moment, your march, this group of people, is causing confrontation between different groups of people, okay?
We're lesbians, it's gay pride.
Whatever you are at the moment is causing confrontation.
I want to make sure I understand that you're removing lesbians from like LGBT march.
Yes, that is what's happening.
I mean, Belinda Lucy, so much going on there. But fundamentally to me, what all of this shows is actually it's the left in society now who have become intolerant. They're actually the new Puritans.
Well, I think the progressive left is more dangerous in this country than the far right. I think the far right quite rightly gets called out, gets ring-fenced, as far away from power as it can be. The progressive left is extremist ideology. It has infiltrated our public sector. We can see how much it's infected our police, that they're removing lesbians from a Pride event for just wanting same-sex relationships. And I think it's a real worry because the progressive left isn't just about denying reality and peddling lies. It is about, you know, you see for example, paedophiles being called minor attracted people now. You know, to sanitize paedophilia. You get drag queens reading story times to children. This is all progressive liberal left infiltrating our society, and I worry because it's too near power. And what happened at that Pride event in Cardiff was an absolute travesty for lesbians, because they are being now demanded of by trans women to accept male-identifying trans as partners, or they're bigots.
I mean, Carol Malone, it was really terrifying.
Well, you know, I don't know whether I couldn't hear probably, but the coppers actually said to those lesbian women, we're going to remove you because you are going to get hurt. Well, why not remove the people who were going to hurt them, not them? You know, it was, as Belinda says, that was a Pride march. Those ladies had every right to be there. And if Pride isn't supporting gay people, what the hell is it for? But I just, you know, it's, you know, we're told all the time, in terms of the trans ideology, that, you know, we have to, you know, we can't walk in their shoes, and we can't question their lived experience. So we can't criticize them, we can't make any comment because we haven't lived their experience. So when a lesbian woman, of course they're women, when a lesbian says that she feels that her rights are being eroded, that her very status is being eroded by trans people, we have to listen to them because we're not walking in their shoes. And we're not listening. What you just said, I just want to reiterate this, that there's now a faction of trans activists who are saying that lesbians who aren't attracted and wouldn't have sex with trans women are transphobes.
Oh, yeah.
So they're now being told who they have to have sex with.
That was behind the whole Alison Bailey
by the Trans Brigade, which I find outrageous.
And Benjamin Butterworth, that's your group in society. This is what you are doing to lesbian women. How do you explain yourself?
First of all, obviously, you can be attracted to whoever you wish to be attracted to. So that last...
Well, is it transphobic? Is it transphobic?
Of course it's
for a lesbian woman to say that they're not attracted to a trans woman?
Of course it's not. People can be attracted to whatever description of person.
Okay, good. I'm glad we agree on that, because folk have lost their job for saying just that.
And, you know, of course, 99% of the lesbian or bisexual women or whatever do not agree with those handful of women that were protesting, but the issue wasn't there.
How do you know that?
Why would you say that?
Because I've just spent the last 3 or 4 days at Manchester's Pride, and the support was overwhelming. But also the problem wasn't their views.
Well, probably because the lesbian women and the people who feel like I do about the gay community, we can no longer go to an event like the one that you've just been at because we will be attacked by trans extremists, the nasty, intolerant, puritanical left.
Well, I'll tell you who's nasty and intolerant is bigoted Belinda, who again just called trans people paedophles. Why did
No, I didn't.
What?
I said progressive left.
You just said that it now includes that with the describing paedophiles as minor attracted people.
I said the progressive left did that. I didn't say trans people did that.
You're a liar, Belinda.
Oh my gosh! I said the progressive left, where they're going, is a real threat to society because they are liberalising
Why did you just
so
bring
much
paedophiles into
progressive. I literally said progressive left.
No,
not trans.
You said you were asked about trans people.
But we're talking about
no.
But we're talking about the puritanical left.
Belinda keeps talking about paedophiles when asked about the rights of gay.
No, that is not true. And what you do,
the oldest bigoted.
What you do is a total disservice to the trans community. Many who just want to get on with their private life, but the extremists, the gender extremists, have hijacked their community and they're scaring women and children. They're destroying boundaries that women have for their vulnerable spaces. They're demanding women let males into every single area of their lives if they claim that they're women. I'm sorry, but you are totally disconnected from women. You seem to have an issue with women. You call women bigots for highlighting concerns that we have.
I call you a bigot for calling trans and gay people paedophiles.
Oh my God!
For the second time.
But you keep. Not only did I not do that, but is that your only argument to make up lies?
Well, actually,
is that your argument?
Actually, as any gay person is aware, it is one of the oldest, nastiest slurs to bring paedophilia into our lives.
Benjamin,
that's what she
I was talking about the progressive left.
But Belinda was speaking about this new...
What has paedophiles got to do with trans people?
Because it's this new
progressive
move for the progressive left, Benjamin, to describe paedophiles as... Okay, so, but do you accept that describing paedophiles as minor attracted people is incredibly dangerous, and we all need to say that is a terrible thing?
Yes, and she makes it up because she's a bigot who wants to undermine LGBT people, and that's why she keeps mentioning paedophiles when talking about gay and trans people's rights.
I was actually...
People are not made up. It's a story that's in the news right now.
There is no movement among LGBT activists, among the progressive left or the progressive right, to defend paedophiles, and it is pure bigotry.
What a shame you have to resort to abuse and insulting terms.
You just called gay people pedos.
I'm sorry, but you can watch it back. This is absolutely ridiculous. And do you know what? I would never call you names.
For the second week in a row,
I'm so sad to see
paedophiles in a debate about trans people.
I'm talking about the progressive left.
But Belinda did not call gay people paedophiles.
She just sat there.
I just want to stick to that.
Please can we stick to the argument?
I just want to stick about the facts. I just want to
what has my right to a trans person's rights got to do with paedophiles?
I had mentioned no connection, but I do say this, and this is in the news all the time, that the self-identifying, supporting progressive left, say that any man who says he's a woman gets absolutely deemed a woman in law, and women should accept men as women.
Why did you say that the progressive left and LGBT activists defend paedophiles?
I didn't say LGBT activists. I said the progressive left are a threat to the fabric of our society, which I 100% stick with.
You apologise
because I have 4 children and I see what they're exposed to.
Do you know what?
Carol, you've been watching this. Do you want to come?
Do you know what? I didn't hear her say that. But what I will say is, do you accept that lesbians feel that they are being marginalised and that they're being erased by the trans movement, by the aggressive trans movement?
There's a minority of lesbians that feel that way, and we see that in the protest. But the thing in that video is that they weren't told not to protest. They were told not to disrupt the Pride March.
They were told?
And that's the same as...
The guy said, we're going to remove you.
You always have Christian anti-gay activists at them, and they get a section to protest next to the march.
The copper in Wales...
welcome to have.
The copper in Wales said... The copper in Wales said...
That doesn't give you a right. If you're a lesbian or a gay person that opposes gay rights, and they exist,
why?
You don't get to be in a gay rights march.
Let's just answer the question. The lesbians that were told that were being removed by those coppers there that are on screen right now, they were being told they were removed from there for their safety. Why not remove the people who were endangering their safety?
Because 99% of LGBT people support
not
trans rights.
99%. You're just the people that copper just said were endangering their safety.
We all support trans rights.
You don't.
I absolutely do.
No, you don't.
I absolutely
You sit
do.
here and you bring out nasty stuff like that and debates like this to inflame.
That's not that.
culture
That's
wars.
real.
You don't give a
No, I think he
damn
was
about
pointing at
trans
me.
people.
That's
Well,
real.
You're
What you
completely
just
wrong.
saw is really not bringing it out and making it up. It happened.
You've
And the
got
vast
issues
majority-
with women,
the vast
Benjamin.
majority of God, you're vile. The vast majority of lesbians and bisexual
You've got to stop
women
this.
support trans people's rights, and those people were entitled to protest. They just weren't entitled to disrupt
Look,
everyone else.
what we're actually
So
trying
why,
to do...
Shame on you, Benjamin. That was very poor
at
debating.
London Pride this year were the lesbians who held the placards up that said lesbians don't have penises? Why were they abused at the march?
They're entitled, like the
They
anti-gay
are
Christian
entitled. They're
activists,
absolutely
to have
entitled.
something at the
But
side.
they were
Don't get to
abused.
the
They were
are
abused
part
and threatened.
of the quote-unquote community, which is being torn apart by
They're
the
not part of
intolerant
community, actually,
left.
because if you don't support LGBT rights, then you don't have a right
But,
to be in an
it's not
LGBT
about
rights
equal
march.
rights. It's about special rights that they want. This is where you're wrong. We all support trans rights. Who wouldn't? I support anyone
don't. You
vulnerable.
just started talking
But
about
do you want-
paedophiles.
And what's to do with the progressive left,
Stop
which
this.
I stand by?
She'll never apologise.
Well, I don't know
Well,
what
he's
to
talking rubbish,
apologise
as
for.
usual.
It'd be interesting
What
if we
does it
watch
have
that
to
back.
do with paedophiles?
I was literally talking about the threat of the progressive left, and
What's that got to
unfortunately...
do with paedophiles?
Well,
So,
Benjamin,
hang on.
Benjamin,
If-
unfortunately,
You said it. No
you
one
don't
proposed
Listen, there's
seem to
evidence
want to
everywhere.
have
No one-
an
no one else
intelligent
You don't want a
debate
conversation.
about this.
No one else mentioned
What happens if we
You were talking
What
about
happens
the
if we
intolerant
watch-
left, and
what
I
happens
actually
if we
condoned it
watch
was
this
progressive.
back?
And you're an intolerant
What happens
bigot
if
when you
what
say
happens
things like that.
Hang on. What happens if we watch this back and she didn't say that?
She was asked about trans rights.
No,
She said they now
talk
defend,
about the intolerant
in
left,
her
actually.
words, minor attracted adults,
Okay.
whatever it was.
Well, look,
that is disgusting,
Let's
and that
just
is
leave it.
bigotry.
Let's leave it. Benjamin, it's the only answer to everything. You're a bigot if you don't agree with me. It's
You
very
are a
boring
bigot,
and
Belinda.
very childish.
And unfortunately, this is what the intolerant left is now doing.
Standing up for people's rights when they're attacked by media like this.
Now, the eco-terrorists at Just Stop Oil remain in the tunnels they burrowed near Gray's oil depot in Essex and are putting